Not be a Caitlin Clark fan at this point as a black person. This is what is being said to us. How you can't root for Caitlin Clark? I'm not making it up. There's people who are just blatantly telling us we can't enjoy a white basketball.
This isn't just a casual opinion. It's a line being drawn in the sand, telling an entire group of fans who they can and cannot support. WNBA fandom has reached a point where, apparently, skin color is dictating allegiances. And don't brush this off as exaggeration. Thousands of social media accounts are actively spreading this message right now. The real question isn't whether it's happening. The question is, how did we get here? And what does this mean for the future of women's basketball?
Listen to this. Just listen to this.
Messages for my fellas. Look, read the room, please. Please read the room. When it comes to this situation with the WNBA, like, if you got something to say about her, I get it. But right now ain't the time to talk about how much you love her.
Why not? We're talking about the game. Y'all keep talking about everything else. Y'all keep talking about everything else but the games. We are talking about,
Listen to what's being demanded here. Black men are being told to read the room, to stay quiet about which players they admire, to hide praise for standout performances because, supposedly, there's a bigger issue at play. The logic goes like this. Angel Reese has been under fire for 3 years, so praising Caitlin Clark now is somehow a betrayal of black women in the league. But that reasoning completely misses the point. LeBron James tweeted just 3 words. Congratulations to Clark after a strong performance. Good game, daughter. And the reaction wasn't mild criticism. It was full-blown outrage. The message? A black athlete publicly recognizing a white athlete during a controversy is taking the wrong side. RG3 faced similar backlash simply for acknowledging Clark's talent. These aren't random fans. These are prominent black athletes being told their public support is somehow inappropriate, judged purely by timing.
This ain't the time for that. Watch the game and keep it moving. RG3.
So now we have to be fans in silence. Now we have to pretend like we have to watch the games and make sure nobody's looking. Hey, don't nobody see me looking at these Caitlin Clark highlights, do they? Now we got to do that. We got to sneak and look at our phone and make sure ain't nobody around. Come on, man. Stop it, man. Stop it.
This ain't the time for you talking about Angel hating her. This ain't the time. Even though I don't believe it to be true. And even if it is, this ain't the time for that.
Now, fans are being told they have to watch games in secret, as if enjoying Caitlin Clark highlights requires constantly checking over your shoulder. The absurdity of that should be obvious, but let's break down why this idea is even gaining traction. The argument hinges on the notion that there's a broader systemic issue, that white players receive disproportionate media coverage, endorsement deals, and fan support. And yes, there are legitimate points worth examining. Clark's Nike deal was the largest ever for a WNBA rookie, regardless of race. Her Time magazine cover sparked debate over whether black players with similar or better stats got the same recognition. Those are important conversations about representation and marketing in women's basketball. But here's where the logic completely falls apart. Telling individual fans they can't appreciate a player's performance because of racial politics does nothing to fix systemic inequality. It doesn't advance the conversation, it just breeds resentment and risks pushing people away from the sport entirely.
About her, and you not sticking up for your sister, your niece, your cousin, your daughter. That's why a lot of women say I'd rather the bear than the man.
What does women saying the bear than the man? What is it? We're not talking about relationships. We are not talking about relationships or politics. We're talking about basketball. And this is a perfect example of why a lot of men don't even watch women, don't even watch.
This comparison to personal relationships is where the argument completely derails. We're not talking about dating preferences or loyalty in a relationship. We're talking about basketball. The idea that men praising white female athletes are somehow failing to protect black women mixes entirely separate issues. Look closely at the framework being used here. It's no longer about analyzing basketball. It's about loyalty tests, proving you're on the right side by publicly supporting certain players while criticizing or staying silent about others. That isn't fandom, that's political performance. And this has real consequences for the WNBA. The league has spent decades trying to broaden its audience, attract casual fans, and boost viewership and attendance. Then, just as the 2024 season delivers unprecedented attention, largely fueled by Caitlin Clark's popularity and the Iowa-LSU rivalry, a vocal segment of fans starts sending the message that support is conditional, only valid if it follows specific racial rules. That's not just misguided, it's actively alienating potential fans.
Nothing to do with women in sports. Don't want women there when they watch it. This is why a lot of men don't even want to deal with women in sport, because what we do, we watch a game and talk like we in the barber shop. He's whack. No, I like him. It don't matter your skin color. It don't matter. If you ask, I would say if you ask 90% of black men that are being honest, who are NBA fans, who's the best player in the NBA? Some people, we all, we have the Mike LeBron debate, but LeBron's older now, so we don't really think he's the best currently. We have no problem saying, hey, I think Jokic is the best player in the league. He's from Serbia. He's white. We don't care. We don't care. We love Luka. We love Luka. We all bombed on the Dallas Mavericks for getting rid of Luka. He's white from...
Let's break down how men actually engage with sports, because this is essential context. In men's basketball, fans freely recognize talent, regardless of race or nationality. Nikola Jokic from Serbia, for example, is widely regarded as the best player in the NBA right now. He's a three-time MVP, European, white, and black fans celebrate his game constantly because he's simply extraordinary. Luka Doncic is another prime example. When the Dallas Mavericks drafted him, there was some skepticism. But once fans saw his skills, the criticism vanished. He's now one of the most popular players in the league, with jerseys selling globally and highlights dominating social media. No one questions whether it's appropriate for black fans to praise his step-back threes or elite court vision. Cooper Flagg is projected as the #1 pick in the 2025 NBA draft, the first American-born white player to go first overall since 1977, nearly 50 years. And the response? Excitement. Fans focus on his talent, his intensity, his competitiveness. Nobody is arguing that Dylan Harper deserves to go first just because he's black. The conversation is simple. Who's the better basketball player?
None of us are mad that he's white and gonna be a #1. Like, it's just crazy. This is why a lot of men don't even deal with women in sports. I'm just being honest with you.
One that looks like you, because it's bigger than basketball. This situation is bigger than basketball and has been for almost 3 years now. Angel Reese deserves better. She does. So yeah, fellas, please.
So now we are at a point where we are being told as black men who we can and cannot like in